Everybody, Raven fans and Oriole fans, thank you for joining us today for our MLB predictions video. So thank you, as we're about to start the baseball season here this week. Like and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. If you like this type of content, definitely like and subscribe to all of our platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, Instagram. One day I'll get there. Thank you very much for joining us, whatever platform you're watching us on today. Thank you for watching us as we do our MLB predictions video. And we're going to start our baseball season here tomorrow. So definitely go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get it going here. We're going to get on Thursday, the baseball season starts. So we're going to go ahead and get it going here. Let's get it out the way. Much as I'm rooting for the Orioles, I got my Orioles shirt on, my Orioles hat on as usual. I did not pick the Orioles in the World Series, okay, Oriole fans. So had to go ahead and look at it fair and objectively. We are going to talk about the Orioles and what everything means for the Orioles, but did not put them in the World Series here. All right, so let's go ahead, and as you see there, MLB Preseason Predictions. We're going to do this, all the divisions, as well as we're going to do who wins the MVP, Rookie of the Year, etc. in each league, and also as well who wins the World Series. Okay, so we're going to go all the way through. And we're going to do a little overview on all the teams in the MLB. As much as I hate saying it, like I said in the beginning, the Yankees, I put them in first. The Yankees, I was hoping maybe they'd have a worse offseason. They did not. They basically did everything they needed to do to stay in the lead here for the East. They re-signed Aaron Judge. They re-signed Anthony Rizzo. They still have Giancarlo Stanton. I think I'm saying his name right there. They still have Stanton. And they did go get Carlos Rodon. He may miss some time here at the start, but that's pretty good. They already had Garrett Cole. They already had Nestor Cortez. They did lose Jameson Talon. They got to maybe figure out close a little bit, but I think they're very, very good. Their rotation is probably maybe top 4 or 5 in the league. In their offense, they maybe have the best offensive player, not named Shohei Ohtani, in the league. So you got to go ahead and put them first. There are some holes there, and they have had some injuries. So it's not enormously insurmountable, but I got to put them in first. Blue Jays. I always feel like they should be in first. I think they're closer to the Yankees than maybe a lot of people realize. I think they're really right behind the Yankees. I think they're definitely right there. They have Brandon Belt. They added Brandon Belt. They still have Matt Chapman, Clayton Kiermaier. Their rotation I do like. Alex Manoah, our old friend Kevin Gausman. They added Chris Bassett in the offseason. Jose Barrios is still there, kind of disappointing a little bit, but I think they're there. Vlad Guerrero, Bo Bichette. They did have Dalton Varsho in the offseason. They might be there, but I think they're still behind the Yankees a little bit. The Rays, Tampa Bay. You almost feel like they should be lower every year, but they're not. The Rays always seem to find a way. They build around starting pitching. One big move, what they do, Zach Eflin in the offseason. That's very good. That puts them, I think, ahead of Baltimore and Boston. I think offensively, it doesn't look like much. They're still hoping on Wander Franco to go ahead and break out. They gave him a lot of money. He should, but they're still hoping. But Shane McClanahan, and they're very good. Their starting pitching is always so good. You don't lose games when you have good starting pitching like that. You don't lose that many games. And I really like their manager, Kevin Cash. So putting him in third. Are your Baltimore Orioles? Rex Barney used to put it. Orioles are really good. I really would have liked to have seen them do more in the offseason. They really still are so heavy relying on the young players. The good news is they have really good young players. Cal Stowers, I think, is going to be their everyday DH. Gunnar is going to be in the lineup, I think, probably at third base this year. Adley, I thought, was outstanding at the end. Anthony Santander, I think, was healthy all year, so that was good. They have their pitching. I think they went and got Cole Irvin, things like that. Kyle Gibson, they looked good in spring. So I don't think you have enough muscle, though, to beat the teams ahead of you. Your starting pitching is not as strong, and your young players are still not quite as good as a lot of these veteran players on those teams. So the Orioles are fourth, although they could be higher depending on how good the ceiling is for those young players. Boston, I don't know what's going on. They've been having a funeral for Xander Bogaerts all off season, losing him. They did re-sign Devers, which was big. So at least they did that. They're all over the place, though. I'm not sure if they're rebuilding or they're getting better. They did sign Justin Turner in the offseason, and then they lost J.D. Martinez. So I don't think I think they're fifth. I don't think they're horrible. I think in a different division, they'd be higher, but they're fifth in this very strong AL East. White Sox, I got back in first. I thought they had a little tough luck last year. They had some injuries last year. I really like, though, some of the young players that they have. They did lose Jose Abreu in the offseason, but they do have a lot of good young players. Andrew Vaughn, Jorge Jimenez, I think, will bounce back. They did add Mike Clevenger to the rotation. Oscar Colas. I'm shocked he's not higher in the prospect rank. This guy hits a ton. Rookie. I had no doubt he was going to make their team. He's definitely going to be one of their outfielders. Andrew Beninati, again, they added in the offseason. And they have Dylan Cease. I think Dylan Cease might be the best starter and one of the best starters in all of baseball. I like him back in first. The Guardians won the division last year. I think they had a bit of good luck last year, so I don't think they come in second. Here's what I do like about the Guardians. You look at a team good in four areas. They're good in all four. Steven Kwan at the leadoff. Jose Ramirez, I mean, it's your power hitter. You have Shane Bieber as your starter. And you have, I think, the best closer, Naim Classic. So you're good in those four areas. I think you're going to have a good team. They did add Josh Bell. I think after that, depth is very – I don't think they match the White Sox in the depth of their young players. Minnesota, they did go ahead and actually surprisingly get back Carlos Correa, which I think is the best player after all that madness, him going to possibly New York, possibly San Francisco. So they did go ahead and get Correa back. Brian Buxton, I mean, was a little bit better for them. Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez are kind of in the rotation. I don't think that's enough to put them there. That's about third. Tigers, I don't think there's a lot of hope there. They're still kind of waiting for the young players to come around. There's a little, I mean, maybe some of their prospects are ready to go. That be the only way they get higher than fourth. Royals, look, Jordan Lyles is going to be the number one starter. Good for them. Good for him. That tells you about their pitching depth. I think prospects for them a couple of years away. They won a World Series of not that long ago, but they're in fifth in this division. Not as strong a division. I don't think a lot of these teams win a lot of games. I think maybe the White Sox probably the White Sox are the only team that wins like 90 games. All right. AL West, very good division. Very good. Astros, the cheaters, I mean, you're going to go ahead and put them in first place. The cheaters, their lineup is very good. The only negative on them is they lost Justin Verlander. They have Christian Javier. They have in their rotation still they have an outstanding lineup. Jeremy Pena might be their best player. Yeah, I said it is in the lineup of a lot of very good players. They went ahead. They still have they still have Jose Altuve, and they have like 3 or 4 guys in that lineup that can win MVP or Cy Young. Very good. Houston's in first. Texas, that's not a misprint. They won 60 games last year, but they're still, I think, going to make a huge jump. I really like Texas. Texas, they went ahead and signed Jacob deGrom. They keep him healthy. I think that's a big go ahead and get for them. Corey Seager's there. They went ahead and signed. They had Corey Seager last year. They went ahead and signed Simeon last year. I think they're moving up a lot. And I like Bruce Bochy as a manager. I think that's huge. I think he's a guy that can really help them get together. They did win more games, and I think they come in second. I think they win a lot of divisions. I think they're really, really, really close to being an elite team. Seattle, they did well in the playoffs. I mean, they won around. They beat the Guardians in the playoffs. I think they're there. I think they're kind of got the tough draw of this division. I think they're really good. Pitching, I think, is really strong for them. Robbie Ray, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Marco Gunn. I mean, so they're solid there. And they did have Julio Rodriguez, I think, who's only going to get better on offense. I think, though, they're a little light on offense compared to the Texas Rangers and Houston. That's why I don't think they can overtake them. Starting pitching is good. Offensively, I just don't see it where they're going to have scoring enough runs to beat those guys as well in their division. I think they would win. I think in the Central they'd be a lot. I think I might put them at 1 because their pitching is really their starting pitching is pretty solid there. They need more offense. I think before they can go higher than that. Angels. Wow, I mean, you can't stop thinking about the World Baseball Classic. You think about the Angels. How good is Mike Trout? How good is Shohei Ohtani? That's about the long and the short of it, though. Jarrett Welsh, I think, is a good young first baseman that they have. Anthony Don, they got to keep those guys healthy, get a whole season. I don't think they have enough pitching. Shohei's good on the mound, too. There's Reed Detmer there. I think, again, maybe in the Central, they're a bit higher. I can't pick them higher than 4th in that division because, I mean, based on their history and based on, how strong this division is. Oakland is no hope at all. They're maybe 32 or 33 teams. They're looking for a new stadium. They're, not allowed to say there. And they're also in the kill division, too, despite all their problems. It's too bad, like, what's happening, and, like, they have to trade away everybody. Atlanta in first in the division. I've seen this one all the way around the map. I've seen all 3 teams get predicted in first, and I'm telling you why I'm taking the Braves. A lot of good young players that are there. They just have to keep them healthy. They traded for Sean Murphy in the offseason. Austin Riley is there. I think maybe outstanding third baseman. Matt Olson at first. I mean, this is the lineup is as good as you can get all across the board. Pitching is really solid as well. I like them a lot. I think this is the best run franchise in all baseball, along with St. Louis. Really good. I think even in this strong division, I like them in first. The Mets. Jesus Christ, they spent a lot of money, didn't they? Even though they didn't get Carlos Correa, they spent a ton of money in the offseason. Signing Nimmo, signing Brandon Nimmo, signing lots of players. I think they're really, really good. I think their rotation is fantastic. They got Justin Verlander. They got Max Scherzer at the top of the rotation. They got, I would say, not having Diaz really hurt. Not having Diaz really hurt. I almost dropped him to third in line of that fact, but Phillies have an issue too. But I almost dropped him to third in line of that fact. But they definitely make the playoffs. They're definitely right there. But I don't think they're above Atlanta with that, especially after the Diaz injury. I think that he's somebody you just can't replace. You can't replace it. There's no point in even trying that. But I think offensively they're good. Pete Alonso is fantastic. He's as good a hitter as anybody around. I think outside, not named Judge, Ohtani, whatever. Pete Alonso is fantastic. But they're in second. I think they're behind Atlanta. Philadelphia Phillies. Why are they third? Philly's really good. It's a very, very, very strong third. Like bad Booker, very, very good. The Phillies are very good in third place. A couple of reasons. One, I think they were a bit of a team of destiny last year. I don't like I said with Cleveland. I don't think I think it's likely that they have as good a run as they did last year. They're not going to have Bryce Harper. Everybody's kind of going past that. I think that's a big deal. When you don't have him, that's kind of when they turned it around when they got Bryce Harper back. Even though they did get Trey Turner, which is fantastic, and they also lost Russ Hopkins. That's a big loss for them. You can't go past losing guys like that to your two maybe best power hitters in your lineup and just go past that. You just can't. I also think the rotation is really good at the top. Obviously, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, but it's top heavy. They did fill in that a little bit. They did get Tyrone Walker in the offseason, but I think the third. I think they're behind these two outstanding teams ahead of them in the division. Washington Nationals, they're rebuilding. They got a ways to go. I did like the trade they made for Juan Soto, being that, hey, look, I like that. You're not going to sign them. Let's get a lot of prospects. I like CJ Abrams and a lot of projects. And they're still waiting. Maybe Carter Keeble. They're still hoping for that. Not much there in. I see Marlins ahead of the Nats. And a lot of these, I don't. Sandra Elantra's there. There's nothing else there. There's nothing else there. They did like Gene Segura. I like him. He's my guy, but he's not like a guy who can carry the load or anything like that. They're in fifth. I think the Nats are ahead of them. I think the Nats are ahead of them in terms of rebuilding players, etc. And the Nats also had, I think, players that might break out as well. That's why I think the Nats are ahead of the Marlins. Cardinals, here's a stat. 15 straight winning seasons, I believe, for them. Unbelievable. How good and how consistent they've been. Hard to not pick them to win the division. And that's what they did. They are as good as any team in this division. The best team, I think, in this division. When you have Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, that's like more than enough for a lot team to carry the offense. They're not going to have Yadi Molina anymore, and they're not going to have two old guys they had. They're not going to have Pujols back this year, so that's gonna hurt them. Alex, they're not going to have Wainwright at the start. Adam Wainwright at the start. I think their pitching is good enough, though. I think Jordan Flaherty, Steven Matz, etc. I think it's good enough at the start. I don't think it's outstanding, but good. But I think it's pretty good. They usually find a way. It's a good pitcher's park. I like them to go ahead and win the division. Unbelievable consistency from the St. Louis Cardinals. Brewers, you look at it on paper, they should be higher. I think closer to the card. I mean, I think like if just looking at that, they seem to have some infighting there going on. And I don't know why that is. They have Ronnie Tellez and Lee Ames hit 30 home runs for them last year. Christian Yelich, I think, is still there, not maybe the same player. So there is some talent there. So that puts them in second. There seems to be some infighting with Corbin Burns and the management. Things like that. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to put them behind St. Louis. Although talent-wise, I think it wouldn't shock me if they were right there. They have the players. Cubs. A lot of people like the Cubs more than I like them. I think they're still in rebuild. They did sign Darby Swanson. I think that's a better signing than what people think. They signed our guy, Trey Mancini. Good for him. They signed, I think, James Talon from the Yankees. I still think they're about a year away from contending. I think they're like 79-ish wins, 80-ish, between 75 and 85, something like that. There. I still think they got a little bit to go. Two teams perpetually rebuilding. Pirates seem like they've been rebuilding ever since they lost Andy Van Slyke and Bonds and those guys. Not a lot here. The best player again that wants to get out of there. They might trade him for more prospects. Cincinnati Reds have been almost as bad, I think, over the years, except for the Pirates. I think have been worse, but kind of like they've been in the same cycle for almost as long. They get some players for a while, and then they spin them off, or even this rebuild they're in before they even got good. They were talking about spinning guys off. So they're clearly the 4 and 5, whatever order you put them in. Yes, that's right. Padres in first. This is the best lineup, I think, in all of Major League Baseball. Number 1. Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, Juan Soto. They have Nelson Cruz come on. He wanted to come along for the ride. Jake Cronenworth, I love watching him. He's outstanding. Chrome Zone, outstanding. This offense, I think, is as good as any offense we've seen in the last several years. And very good. No breaks. Grisham, top to bottom, 1 to 9. It's going to be outstanding. I think their pitching is really good, too. Darvish is really good. I thought Joe Musgrove was really good last year. This is kind of what I'm hoping the team the Orioles would be. They would go ahead and the young players were ready to graduate, and then they go ahead and sign vets, and they haven't done that. I almost forgot Xander Bogaerts. Yeah. This is an outstanding team. I think they're definitely at first. I think they beat the Dodgers. Dodgers slipping a bit. The pitching isn't as good. Clayton Kershaw is still there, but he's older. They did lose Gavin Lux in injuries in the season. However, they're still like a 91 team. Offensively, they're still very, very good. Mookie Betts is still outstanding, as we know, one of the best playoff players. So I think they're definitely second. Giants, I don't know where to place them. Kind of like have the same Red Sox. I think they're higher in the division, maybe. But they definitely they lost Brandon Belt in the offseason. They lost out on Carlos Correa, or they decided not to sign him, whatever happened there. They got to wait. They're I kind of them and the Red Sox. I kind of put the same. I don't know if they're good or bad. They're kind of in the middle. They won like 80 games last year, and I think that's kind of where they live. If they're lucky, I think that's about what the best they do, about 80, 81 games. Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll, as good as any young player. They went ahead and paid him. I think that's what they're hoping for with the D-backs, that a lot of the young players come around. Colorado, same. I think that I don't think they're a million years away with the prospects either. But I don't think in this division, certainly with the Padres and the Dodgers, there, no really hope for them to go ahead and do anything this year. We're still waiting. All right, playoffs. Somebody say playoffs. The old Jim Moore line. Somebody say playoffs. Win again. AL seeds. There we go. Astros in first. Yankees in second. White Sox in third. Rangers in fourth. Blue Jays in fifth. Mariners are sixth. NL seeding. Braves, I think, in 1. Padres, I think, 2. Cardinals, I think, 3. Dodgers, 4. Mets, 5. Phillies, 6. Very, very good 6 teams in the NL. Very impressed with that. I think the Braves do win more games than the Padres. Not by a lot, but I think the Braves get a little bit more. I think the Braves will get like 100 wins. I think the Padres, probably be at 100 wins, right around there. As well, I don't think the Cardinals get that high. I think they probably definitely have the worst record. They'll win close to 90 games. The Dodgers, I don't think they win 100 games, around Phillies and over and Mets. Off-season awards. Shohei Ohtani. I can't not pick Shohei Ohtani. He's easy best player in the American League. Been the most consistent the last 2 years. On the mound, I actually consider him for Cy Young. I don't think he's going to win Cy Young, but I don't see any reason why he can't win both awards. He's improving as a pitcher. He's been really good. He's their ace as well. Christian Javier, I think you go with the best pitcher on the best team. I think that's always a good idea. He's the best pitcher on the best team. They're going to win 100 games, and they're going to hit. So I don't see a guy at this level any reason why he couldn't win Cy Young. Bruce Bochy, one of my favorite managers, man. He did outstanding job all those years with the Giants, and he's going to do a great job, I think, with the Rangers. You're seeing like a lot of these teams do this. Buck Showalter, Dusty Baker, a lot of these veteran managers. You're seeing that. Bruce Bochy, I think he really helps the Rangers. Our guy, Gunnar Henderson, top prospect in baseball, no doubt about it. Bat flies off. Bat speed is outstanding. Gunnar Henderson, I think, absolutely wins Rookie of the Year. Easy. I definitely think he's going to be a 20-home guy. I don't think he's hitting third right away. They should kind of ease him into it. He's going to be your 3-hitter for years to come. Pete Alonso. Even playing in New York, he's kind of underseen. Built like he looks like an NFL player, and he hits the ball a ton. Outstanding. Average is good. Everything about him is good. I think he's more important to the offense than people realize there with the Mets. Outstanding. I think he wins the MVP on a good Mets team. Corbin Burns. Only question I have with this pick is he going to be in Milwaukee all year? That's the thing. He's going to get traded to the AL. He stays with the Brewers all year. I'm thinking maybe that happens if the Brewers are really close to St. Louis. He's the best pitcher, though. Easy. Bob Melvin, manager of the Padres, former Oriole catcher, was outstanding. Padres, I think they have the best record in all of baseball, possibly. I like them. Corbin Carroll, we know what the D-backs think of him. After a season and a half, they went ahead and extended him. $11 million extended him. So I think it was $100 million already. They've seen enough. So wild card round. Top 2 teams get a bye. So who's in it? Mariners, I think they're over the White Sox. White Sox, I think they're probably the weakest team in the playoffs, winning a weak division. Rangers, I like the Rangers. They beat the Blue Jays. Blue Jays pitching, I don't know if it's strong enough to win a series. They have to go ahead and see how Chris Bassett does. If Chris Bassett can really put them over the top. I know the Rangers have an outstanding ace, Jacob DeGrom, going forward. They keep him healthy. Cardinals, I think, over the Phillies. I think the Cardinals usually find a way. I think they win one round here, at least, over the Phillies. Phillies have to get Bryce Harper back. That I think that's bigger than what people are saying. I think the injury may last longer. Mets over the Dodgers. Mets are really good. Mets, I don't think there's any question about it. I think Alonso wins MVP. The Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are slipping a bit. I don't think there's any reason for panic, but they're just slipping a bit compared to what they've been in years past. Division series. Who's in that? Yankees over the Mariners. Yankees, I think their starting pitching is going to be tough for the Mariners to be over 5 over a whole series. I think Astros are really good as far as hitting. Offense, the lineup, I think maybe they're only behind San Diego as far as the lineup. San Diego, I think is outstanding. I don't think they're about as good as any team anywhere. I think they beat the Cardinals over a series. Braves over the Mets. I think the Braves are playoff tested as well. They're really good. I think the Braves actually go ahead and win over the Mets. Mets, I think, need another player or two to get ahead of Atlanta. I think if they had got Carlos Correa, I think that he might have done it. We'll never know. He's out in Minnesota. ALCS, we got the Yankees and the Astros. Astros taking care of business there. Braves and Padres. Man, that's a really good series we're going to get between the Padres and the Braves. I like the Braves in this. They've been there before. I think the Padres, they're still growing as a team there, and that's when you get this far, there's difference there in getting that far. We're gonna have a World Series with the Braves beating the Cheaters. I mean Astros. So there you go. There are MLB predictions for that as we go into the season this week. Couple things. Of course, we're going to talk Orioles here. I said that in the commentary. I wish the Orioles had done more in the offseason. They really haven't. They really they signed out of Frazier. They went ahead. I think Cole Irvin, was their best signing. They went and got Colin, but even those guys that won the deals. It's frustrating because the young players I think are ready to go. You're so reliant on these young players. We'll see if they can get any extensions, any money for those guys, and see if they can find a way to commit to something. Let's even say they're right about Kyle Gibson and Cole Irvin, who are really good in spring. So let's even say you're right. You don't have him this year. you don't have Gibson. You don't have guys like that. So let's say he has a great year, like Jordan Lyles, much better than we thought playing Kansas City. So that's unfortunate. And also too, obviously, you're still in the AL East. I mean, it's a very tough division to actually go out and win. So definitely, you got a lot of work to do there. Who wins it? Braves. I like Atlanta. They got tough sledding. They're built for it. I think they're outstanding. I think their offense and their pitching is as good as anyone. I think getting Sean Murphy kind of cover up all. I don't see a flaw on that team at all anywhere. Don't see one. The only concern is maybe at shortstop replacing Dansby Swanson. Farm Grisham, I think, is not going to start for them. So that's about the only flaw I think on that team. Everywhere else, all the outfield spots, all the infield spots, except shortstop, catcher now. I don't see it. Padres jumping up. Very exciting about the Padres. They're about as exciting as anything we've seen here. I don't know if they get all the way. I don't think they win the World Series, but it'll be fun to watch that offense go. Manny Machado, I think, is even still underrated now. Really, really good. Looking to see what happens. Two teams I don't particularly like probably winning the Astros. What they did and the cheating and all that other stuff, stealing the signs, I thought that was classless. And the Yankees, I never liked the Yankees, but Yankees pitching is very strong, and they probably have the best hitter, probably in the American League. When you talk about Judge, either him or Otani, they're as good as anybody. So we will see now that the season begins. We will be happy to go ahead and continue to bring content like this. If you like content and manage to, go ahead, like, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. Thank you for joining us for our standalone MLB predictions video. You have a great day.